Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the co-owner and creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why the different attachment styles are most inclined to cheat in relationships. So in the past, I've talked a little bit about why people cheat in relationships based on like overarching themes. And a really big example of this is I've often said people cheat when they have unmet needs in a relationship. They don't feel like they have a strategy or way of getting their needs met or communicating them that's effective or that's working. And then they build resentment and end up justifying the behavior of cheating, through storytelling, things like, oh, it's because my partner never cares about me anyways, and so it doesn't matter if I cheat, and people get into this justification. Now, I see this most in like very long-term relationships, like marriages, when this type of behavior starts to emerge, because obviously if somebody's going through a cycle of feeling like their needs are not met for a decade, at some point, because the brain is a needs meeting machine, it's going to kind of have some sort of covert behavior, or it's more likely to have some sort of challenge that emerges in terms of the way that it deals with its behavioral patterns. However, what we haven't talked about is specifically the underlying reasons, like what are the needs that are unmet for each attachment style that tend to trigger this pattern of behavior the most? What are the features or factors in a relationship that are showing up that are creating those unmet needs or justifications in the first place? So I'm going to break this down in a series for you guys, and I'm going to talk about all 4 attachment styles. I'm going to go through the fearful avoidant, I'm going to go through the dismissive avoidant, the anxious preoccupied, and the securely attached individual, and we'll talk a little bit about the different dynamics for why each individual cheats. Before I dive in, we're still using the coupon code with you for a 25% off discount for memberships in the school. We're going to do this as long as like the whole COVID world isolation quarantine thing is going on, because the school provides a really powerful place for community, for connection, for being around like-minded individuals. And I know that there's sort of challenges people are going through in terms of disruptance or disturbance in like their lives. Also, if you dive into the school and there's specific areas that you want to focus on, I will say, like, if you're getting a lot of value out of this channel, the school itself and all the courses are like 10x the value of what you receive here. The reason being that I can actually put like breakthrough exercises in workbooks. Every single course comes with 10, 12-page workbooks and like written down exercises, journaling activities, things that really take this information and ingrain it and help you break through things. The courses are very results oriented, and they make you do a deep dive into yourself. So if there's a specific area of your life that you're looking to focus on, boundaries, transforming compulsive people pleasing, overcoming a breakup and actually feeling healed, dealing with things like limerence, which is a part of that course, specifically the breakup course, reprogramming your attachment style, just reprogramming your habits, finding your life purpose, developing a stronger self-identity, all of these courses, all the courses in there is something in there for you. So you can also feel free, if you're going through like a challenging time, to reach out to my team at info@personaldevelopmentschool.com and ask for different scholarship options that we're still extending, all those sorts of things. So again, the coupon code is with you, all one word. I'll put it as a card in this video you can click on, like a little clickable, and also in the description box below. So, and the courses are going to save you lots of time, like the videos and stuff. Anyways, I just really want people to feel healed and empowered and like really get this stuff inside out. So we keep getting all this amazing feedback from people about like breakthroughs in their lives, and their lives have changed. I'm getting like hundreds of emails like on the daily, just from people who are going through this whole process. So I will stay on track. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's talk about this specifically. Why does the fearful avoidant tend to cheat in a relationship? Okay. And I'm going to go into like what you can do here with like rebuilding trust and what might be necessary and things like that. And also if it's a good idea, because a lot of the time when people cheat, it's not a good idea to salvage a relationship. In some cases it is, and in some cases it's really important, but in a lot of cases it's not. So maybe I'll do a separate video like distinguishing those key things. Here's what I would say. The principle still applies to everybody. All people tend to cheat either because they have like compulsive broken parts and they are so desperately like seeking significance or affection or love. And to the degree that that component of what they desire becomes like a fixation, and this is things like sex addiction, love addiction, that is so compulsive, because the brain is so trying to achieve homeostasis because of such intense lack that it's unable to empathize and properly show up in a relationship and take somebody else into proper consideration and take their needs into consideration and the union of a relationship and the commitments to it into consideration, because there's a huge component of brokenness that the brain is too preoccupied with trying to fix. Now, does that occur with fearful avoidance? It can, but there are usually really specific core reasons that the fearful avoidant seeks out another relationship, or even just another interaction that could be physical or even just emotional violations, like expressing feelings of romance towards somebody while being in a current romantic relationship, things that would really make somebody sort of leave them feeling really hurt and in pain. So these are the biggest reasons for the fearful avoidant. Reason number one is because fearful avoidants storytell and presume that their partner may be doing the same, either cheating in some form or just like violating some of the emotional components of a relationship. Now, this is what I would say is the number one reason overall, out of all of the client conversations I've had over the years, after all of the like probing and getting to the roots of things with different individuals, like seeing hundreds, if not thousands of people one-on-one, what I would say is literally fearful avoidance. The biggest ongoing story I hear is, well, I wasn't sure how my partner was showing up, and that caused me to feel really bad. And because I care a lot about this person, I kind of almost felt at some level that if I cheated or I violated the relationship boundaries as well, that maybe it wouldn't hurt so badly if I found out that this person was doing it. Okay. And that's a really painful one. That's a really tough one. And you know what else I see along with that pattern? I also see that fearful avoidance often end up finding out after the fact that that partner never did anything like that, and that a lot of that was their own fears and wounds and distrust that they are bringing into a relationship, projecting onto a person, and then feeling like they have to somehow manage or guard that effectively. And it can also be a variation of this. It doesn't have to be like, I thought this person was violating, and not necessarily physically cheating, but like, you know, probably flirts with other people all the time and stuff, you know, was probably disrespecting me in the relationship, so I didn't think it was a big deal. Like these sorts of stories I hear, like narratives. So I hear that version, but I also hear the version of not like, oh, I did that too, so it wouldn't hurt so much. I also hear the version of, so I didn't feel like I had to be loyal, or, you know, I felt that when I had a crush or feelings because my partner wasn't showing up well, why should I have to do that? So it can also be in the form of like these justifications. But a lot of the big reasons I've historically seen are rooted in somebody feeling like they can't trust, feeling powerless, and feeling betrayed. Okay. Or emotionally abandoned, because fearful avoidants really need that like emotional connection and that transparency as a form of feeling safe. They feel like they need that attunement. They need to know everything that's going on to see if that relationship is a safe haven for them or not. Now, in contradiction to that, I also see the people who are the most loyal fearful avoidants who haven't worked on their attachment style are with people, like when fearful avoidants present as most loyal, even when they're wounded and even when they've got like traumas. And some of those traumas too can produce limerence, by the way, like can produce excessive infatuation when somebody is expressing needs that are deeply repressed in the fearful avoidant, or when somebody is expressing traits that are deeply repressed as a fearful avoidant, or meets needs that the fearful avoidant has had deeply unmet. That can create limerence. And then that limerence, like, oh my gosh, I'm seeking wholeness through that person. That person could offer it. That limerence combined with justification because the fearful avoidant feels like they can't trust. That's sort of like the vicious cycle, or like the perfect storm is that's what I was looking for the expression. So these are some big reasons here. And fearful avoidants who I've seen who tend to be the most loyal to their partner, even if the fearful avoidant is very fearful avoidant and not healed, these are the individuals that actually tend to see the most transparency in their relationship. The people who have partners who over-explain, bring a lot of transparency to the table, are reinforcing, they know that that person is loyal, and they've come to learn that. And in that case, I see fearful avoidance being one of the most loyal attachment styles, because they tend to care so much for other people's feelings and not want to hurt people, and are able to overcome their limerence in those types of dynamics. Now, that's not everybody. This is just yet another pattern I've seen in this experience. The next really important reason that I see fearful avoidants tend to cheat is when they feel unwanted, unimportant, unseen, or unheard. And in this case, they tend to start sort of setting out these ideas in their mind, like, oh, my partner doesn't care about me, so I will seek out somebody who does. And sometimes this is based in spite, and sometimes it's also just based in somebody really trying to get their needs met and having really unhealthy ways of doing so. And so just as like an important point here, if somebody is experiencing that, and like, let's say you are the fearful avoidant listening to this, you're caught in your stories. You're not doing the work to show up and communicate your needs in a relationship and working to bring them in. And this is an important part of any secure relationship. It's important, especially for long-term lasting relationships, for somebody to be able to come to the table and say, hey, I'm feeling unseen, or I'm feeling unwanted or unimportant. I need more of X, Y, and Z, whatever those things are, those ingredients that make you feel wanted, seen, important. And what is really sad, I think, and tough to see over the years, is that I've seen many people feel like they can't say those things. And so instead, they love somebody, they care about somebody, and then they sabotage the relationship at the same time through seeking those needs outside of the relationship in a way that either is fully breaking trust and cheating, or is partially breaking trust to get those needs met. And it doesn't make sense to be investing in a relationship, to put your time, energy, maybe you have a house together and a mortgage and children, and to do all these things that where that relationship is so intertwined with so many areas of your life, and to be sabotaging it at the same time. It doesn't make sense, but it's what I see people do when they don't have healthier strategies, because there's a subconscious belief mechanism that says, I can't express my needs. It's too vulnerable. It's unsafe. They won't be met. Whatever belief patterns you have that are acting as a barrier to you doing that work. And yes, it's vulnerable, and yes, it's scary as you start, but then it becomes the new normal in your relationship. And that's an important factor or feature in every relationship, not just romantic, but also friendships, family member relationships. All of these, expressing of self makes a relationship go round. And the third really big piece I see here is fearful avoidance cheating when they feel that there's a huge imbalance in the relationship. And this is still related to needs. It's, oh, I meet everybody else's needs, I see everybody else in full, and then I don't express my needs completely or fully or consistently. And then I perceive this imbalance, I feel that it's an injustice, I feel disrespected, core wound, or I am stupid, core wound, like I am foolish, sort of is the feeling, but people often use that phrase, and so that's where I'm getting this from. And then they feel, oh, okay, well, you know, who cares then? I shouldn't bother. And therein lies that justification. And as soon as somebody starts to justify why it's okay for them to do it, or, you know, this person wouldn't care anyways, that's when you start entering down that sort of slippery slope. So I won't go into like what to do about this right now in this video. I just want people to identify their core wounds, and like, obviously what you do is you question your stories and you bring your needs into a relationship dynamic and you do the work. And then if the relationship isn't working and the needs are not being met, once you've consistently expressed them, painted a picture of what that looks like, seen the needs through by repeating them over time until the person really gets it and understands this on a regular basis. If you're doing that work and the person's still not showing up, then you leave the relationship. Then it's not the right relationship, right? But you have to do that work in order to see and in order to get proper answers about what the relationship dynamic looks like. Another thing I see too is like sometimes when people are cheating, or the more healed we become as human beings, the more whole we become, the easier it is to leave relationships that aren't serving. The easier it is to be like, you know what, this isn't working. And I owe it to myself as a human being to be able to set an absolute boundary and move away from this relationship into something that does fulfill me. And I feel worthy enough and self-respecting enough to be able to do that. And we get to that place through the healing of our wounds. We don't get to that place when we still have core subconscious belief programs that say, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve, all these sorts of things. So what I will do at some point in here is I'll make like a longer, well, I'll make a video. I know people don't watch like super long videos on YouTube, but I will make a video that talks about what to do if you've been betrayed in a relationship and how to know if you should enter back into that cycle or not. A lot of times people do and they shouldn't, but a lot of times people are unwilling and there is a potential for healing. So I think that's like an important clarifier, like, hey, what to do if this person cheats? And maybe I'll add that as a second part to the series. Let me know in the comments below if that's something that you want to see. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're getting a lot of value out of these videos. And I will see you in the next part of this series.